Yeah, it's the REKK Report. Rekkhan's in the building, giving you the raw and uncut. You know how I do. Sit back, relax. Welcome to my world. We're getting it in. Let's get this started. It's the REKK Report.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the REKK Report. Today's topic is, we'll call it representation. Main reason why I'm speaking about this was because I saw this commercial. Sprite, shout out to Sprite. You know, like I said, I saw their latest commercials, and I felt some kind of way, and it might not be the route, it might not be what you think it is, but I felt it being, a little disrespectful. Now, let's go into the commercial itself. Both commercials, they got two black dudes, two sisters. You know what I'm saying? No big thing. The thing is the fact that, we got some, brothers and sisters that's working, you know what I'm saying, on a national commercial as an actor. I appreciate that. I think that's dope. It's dope. It's just dope. That we, because that's what we want. We want to be able to do these national commercials like everybody else, and just be able to shine in some way. But my thing about this was about the nature of both commercials. One commercial, the brother was getting a ticket, was getting a train ticket, bus ticket, whatever ticket. He was getting it from this guy, ticket, whatever. And while the guy was like, "Oh, you're going to whatever place, blah blah blah," he started the ticket guy, the cashier. He starts trailing off and starts going to a story and everything. So what happens is that the dude that's getting the ticket, he turns up a bottle of Sprite, and the whole hissing sound, for the fizz sound, drowns out this whole dude's conversation. And then eventually, by the time he got to the end of the last of the fizz, he finished and was like, "Oh yeah, here's your ticket, your train's on his way, blah 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 blah." So, and the guy walks off. The second one, the other commercial, like I said, is two young ladies, two sisters, and basically the sister sat down and one girl was on the bench. The girl sat down and was telling her a story about, some mistaken, identity or whatever the situation was. But anyway it go, the girl that was sitting on the bench, just pulled out her Sprite and, popped the top. And so while this girl is pouring out all of her emotions or her story or whatever, the girl is basically tuning her out. And then by the time she gets to the last of the fizz, then she hears like the last two words of what this girl is saying. And then eventually she acts like she knew what she was talking about the whole time, and then they eventually walk away. Now, the problem that I have with that, it's not the racial part of it. It has nothing to do with that. It's the whole how can I say it? The whole thing when it comes down to social interaction. We've gotten to a point that we've linked into our phones. We're stuck in front of screens all day, that we don't know how to interact with other people. The basic thing is like, if someone's saying something that you're really not into, most of the time that's what most people do now. They'll pull out their phone. When somebody pull out their phone and look at their phone while they're talking to you, that's a sure sign of somebody that doesn't really care about what you're saying. If they're doing something else instead of not focusing on what you're doing, this is like a subtle way of doing it. With this whole Sprite commercial, it's set up that way. That's like, okay, I don't want to let this person know I'm not interested in what they're saying, so I'm gonna pop the top on my pop. Yo, when you see this from like the first sight, it looks like, oh yeah, they're just being, they're annoying people. So it's kind of like I'm gonna blow them off. But if you look at it on a deeper level, it's kind of like, it's just showing how this society has been put out here. It has been set up. It's set up now that we don't have the human interactions anymore. That we don't, we can't have like small talk and just basic, just conversation. And the fact of not being able to tell people or to communicate if you're not feeling something, or if you are, express yourself in some way. Everybody's worried about hurting somebody and hurting somebody's feelings and all that type of stuff is trash. But I'm like, if I'm not interested in the conversation, I'm gonna say so. But it's just, when I saw it, I was just like, okay, he ain't trying to hear what dude got to say, so he tuning them out by popping the top. She not hearing what her supposed to be her friend is saying to her, because I don't know, maybe she, whatever relationship they may have, she's like, okay, maybe she talk too much. Instead of her just saying like, look, girl, I'm good. I'm good. Let's move on. Or the dude saying, I appreciate the conversation, bruh, but let me get this ticket so I can get over there to the thing so I can be ready. But this whole process of not communicating to each other, being honest with people, that's where it comes. That's why I'm seeing it. And maybe I'm looking too deep into the commercial, but I'm saying, when we're going back to the whole thing of representation matters. And when I'm seeing this, it's like, okay, the main two commercial, like I said, they got us in the commercial, so it's basically putting that out to the world that we can't talk to each other. Like, we just can't talk to one another. I would even go to the fact of I'm not hitting that just yet. I'm gonna wait to see if they actually do any more commercials that have other people, other groups of people involved, that they're tuning each other out. But if it stays with just these two commercials and with us not listening to one another, it's just basically putting the message out there to the world of like, okay, you see, look in the commercial. They don't even want to be, small talk, conversation. They don't even want to interact with one another. They pop that top. Now, all I'm saying, it just kind of gives me a bad taste in my mouth. And the thing was, I have a habit of I have a problem with like thinking. I like to think about certain things, and I look for the meaning in certain acts and certain things that are out there that are being portrayed to the public and in private, of like I said, representation matters. So maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm thinking too deep of it. Maybe I'm just like, hey man, just pop the top, and if someone talking to you, just tune them out in a way without having to hurt their feelings or whatever. It all sounds, it's trash. Sounds trashy to me. And it just basically shows how the breakdown of society is going right now. It's kind of like, okay, if this is socially acceptable, in this commercial, like I said, they're saying this because, like I said, commercials are everywhere. Like I said, my thing, like I told you, us working, as actors and stuff like that, us working, and we're not in the background somewhere. Or a lot of times when we have, like, for us, being SAG actors, they'll put us in there, but they'll put us like in the background somewhere. We be playing like, they show the back of our head just to say, we got some of y'all in there. But the fact that they in there, they got lines, it's dope. It's dope. Like I said, I'm a fan. I want all of us to be working, especially, for doing these national commercials and movies and shows and stuff like that. But it's all about what the message is and what's being put out there and what the world sees and says, okay, all right, cool. It's a deeper meaning to it. It's a deeper, thing. I would love to see who directed it, who directed the video, who directed the commercials, and was like, okay, this is where we're gonna go. We're gonna tune these people out. We're not gonna hurt their feelings. Instead of just saying, okay, let me listen to see what these people, what somebody has to say, and talk to them, and have a dialogue going back and forth. But now you're like, okay, you're looking at them and smiling while they're pouring their feelings out about some situation, instead of you just being courteous and just being like, okay, I'm gonna listen for it. It's not hurting me to listen to to this few minute story, but it's a bigger picture in it. And I like to look at the bigger picture. Me dealing with psychology and stuff like that, I look at the deeper meanings of stuff, and I have the ability to think. So if this is not what you're thinking about, and maybe it's Maybe I'm overthinking the whole situation, but maybe not. Like I said, leave it in the comments, say something, and be like, okay, yeah, you going too much in it. But you have to understand, it's programming. That's what all this stuff is, programming. It's kind of like you see what you see, the product is there, but it's like what's around it that's kind of like, okay, then you kind of like understand where I'm coming from. But if you don't, maybe you're stuck in whatever, where you are. You like, okay, I'm gonna believe what I see, and I'm gonna believe what's there, and I'm just gonna take it for its face value. Like I said, I ain't got no beef with Sprite. I like Sprite, but like I said, it's just this commercial kind of like dropped it for me. And every time I see it now, I'm just like, it gets a little bit more disturbing to me. Just like, really, like we don't, dude got the smug look on his face, like, yeah, this dude just talking. I'm just like, I don't want to talk to this dude. But and the girl is the same way. I don't really want to listen to what she got to say. I'm just like, okay, let me. It's I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, on that note, y'all be safe. Don't start no trouble. Maybe it's just me, but like I said, I'm just different. I'm just cut different. But if you're gonna talk to me, I'm gonna listen to what you gotta say, and then have a nice day and keep it moving. Everybody else, they want you to be like, okay, blow everybody out, blow them off. You don't hear what they gotta say, blow them off. Pull out your phone, pull out your spot, pull out your Sprite, whatever, and tune them out. Society's going downhill fast. Maybe it's just me. See you when I see you. Peace.
REKK Report.